right. It is 5 p.m. and I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. We'll begin with a quick roll call. Mr. Barton?
Here.
Mr. Freshair?
Here.
Dr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Chapman?
Present.
Dr. Minnick?
Here.
Everybody is here. If everybody will stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty. So we will move into delegations, and we do have one delegation this evening, and that's Mr. Scott Baker. So if you'll just come up here to the podium so we can hear you on the thing. And then, of course, our county has a 3-minute time policy. So I'll have a 3-minute timer here. And as soon as you're ready, I'll start it and you go ahead.
Thank you. I will be brief. My name is Scott Baker, and I'm with West Virginia Prevention Solutions. We're the prevention lead organization for Region 4, so we serve the 13 counties north central West Virginia. I've been doing this for about 4 years. I work a lot with Gilmer County with the Wellness Coalition. Worked this past year with the Expanded School Mental Health Program, provided all their bot and life skills curriculum. A couple of years ago, I served with Dr. Minnie on his panel to create a tiered vaping prevention strategy to eliminate expulsion so it was more restorative. And recently we have been included in a grant opportunity with West Virginia Prevention Research, and it is the Integrated Community Collaborative Engagement. And it is based on the Icelandic prevention model. If any of y'all are familiar at all with Dr. Alfgeir Christensen at WVU Prevention Research, he's one of the founders of this. They did this in Iceland because in Europe, continentally, kids were socially drinking, and in the Nordic countries, kids were binge drinking and using other substances. So rather than focusing on treatment of individuals, they created a program that engaged youth in their community. And so what this whole program entails is collecting community or student surveys in the fall for a period of 5 years, using the data collected from that to receive funding through the West Virginia First Foundation, the Palatine Foundation. And I don't want to take up a whole lot of time, but I do have a one-pager that gives you information about this collaborative program. I've already got Tucker, Barber, Braxton, and Doddridge County on board for this project. And
Thanks, sir.
And what it takes is, well, actually, you get a fancy folder.
Oh, great.
Because, to enroll in this program, all I need is a letter of support from the superintendent. There's a letter in there. You review it, share it with these folks, and if you're on board, just sign it, scan it back to me on county letterhead, and we'll get you into the program. So
Sounds good.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All righty. That will move us out of delegations.
any questions or anything before?
Yep,
I'll
we're
get
good.
back with you.
Hey, thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so that'll move us out of delegations, and we'll begin with reports and discussion and follow-up information, and start with the Golden Horseshoe presentation. Dr. Minnick.
All right. Well, I got 2 of these awards. Gilmer County picks 2 Golden Horseshoe winners. Some counties get more, some get a lot more, but we get 2, and this is for our 2 top participants in our West Virginia history class that have taken the test and knows the most about West Virginia history. So I feel kind of responsible for this one. I did do a little bit of quizzing around the dinner table, but if I can get you guys to come up and I'll shake your hands and then we'll get a picture for participants. But this is a certificate of achievement. This certificate is presented to Mason Morris in recognition of your distinction as a 2026 Golden Horseshoe winner for Gilmer County. And it's got a school principal and Michelle Blatt's signature on it. So come on up.
Wait, Lisa didn't get one.
Yeah. Let's stay with that handshake. All right, and this one reads Certificate of Achievement. This certificate is presented to Theron Minnie in recognition of your distinction as a 2026 Golden Horseshoe winner for Gilmer County Schools and should be displayed in the superintendent's office.
Sounds like we should make sure we're from that.
Do you not have your own? That's what I want.
No, as Theron informed me, they started making it mandatory in 1997, which was my 8th grade year. I tried to say, oh, we didn't take that test. In 1997, they made it mandatory. Theron, you guys come on up and we'll
Yeah.
do a picture with the board.
There and I have one.
Karen, you worked hard to get that, don't you?
Yeah. He already blew that chance.
Congratulations.
Let's
Good
give
job,
them-
boys. Good job.
And they will be knighted in Charleston on June, what'd you say? June 9th. So they're going to go to Charleston and receive their Golden Horseshoe and go through the knighting ceremony. So
Very cool. Congratulations, guys, both of you. You are more than welcome to leave if you need to, or you can stay for the rest of the meeting, but we'll
So
move
much
into
fun.
for the rest of just wanted to give you all that option now if you needed to go. So you're welcome. You all have a great evening.
Yep.
Okay, we have Golden Horseshoe finished up, so that'll lead us into the Leading Creek Governance Committee, which I'm so blessed to have Miss Sherry West on that committee with me when I miss that she can take care of business. So, Leading Creek met, or the Governance Board met on April 14th, 2026. First thing, we had the principal's report. Their enrollment is currently 114 students attending Leading Creek Elementary. 100 of those are Lewis County students, and 14 of those are Gilmer County students. The next thing they went over was test scores. Their test scores, pretty decent across the board. They are getting ready. Their third eye-ready diagnostic will be administered on Tuesday, April 21st through Friday, April 24th. The reading will be given, then followed by math, and then the schedule for their West Virginia GSA is May 1st, 4th, 13th, and 18th, with each one of those having a different content subject. As far as personnel, they're fully staffed with all certified professionals, with one long-term sub at second grade for the remainder of the school year. The second grade position will be filled next school year, but preschool for next school year is currently posted to hire. All service positions are filled after one retirement. They then discuss their curriculum. They're using their reading series Wonders, while their math curriculum is iReady Math. Some of the supplements used include 95% group corrective reading, corrective math, Title I services, and small groups, and are created based on West Virginia GSA analysis and test authoring being utilized via Cambium. Finances, the school's in good shape financially. The faculty senate funds being dispersed. Most of the money available via the levy for supplies, is some of that is still there. And then Leading Creek always has adequate money to purchase what is needed, was reported by their principal. As far as facilities, they had a few HVAC repairs. There's a new storage building coming for the custodians to store the mowing equipment in. They will have a fire marshal visit on the 27th to correct a few issues that they found on their facilities report. As far as the bus schedule, there was no issues reported there. There was no old business. Under new business, there was none. And then for chairperson information or action, due to a change in superintendents in Lewis County, the previous Lewis superintendent was the vice chair of the committee. So there was a nomination to have David Bush, their Lewis County board member, serve as vice chairperson since that position was vacated. So that motion did pass. So I still remain the president, and David Bush is the vice president for that governance committee. There were no delegations, and the next meeting for that committee will be September 22nd, 2026 at Leading Creek Elementary. 11:15 normally, Miss West. Okay. And that's all I have for that. So if we'll move down, we have the Calhoun Gilmer Career Center Administrative Council report by Mr. Barton.
On May the 7th at 5 o'clock, they will have their pinning ceremony for those students that have passed their CNA course and taken the test and passed. And that will take place at 5. Last year, of all the students that did that, I want to say all but one of them that wasn't old enough to work were holding jobs. They were working at Minnie Hamilton, and some of them are working out here at the nursing home. So they do an excellent job with that program. And if you're coming out of there, then as Dr. Miller knows, that's kind of a stepping stone to become a nurse in that realm, which is high dollar occupations when you graduate from one of the WVUP or one of them that offers the nursing program. So like I said, that will be May the 7th at 5. The senior appreciation ceremony is May 14th at 1 o'clock. And our graduation is 24th of May in Calhoun County. They will graduate on the 22nd. And for next year, they have done pre-enrollments. And of course, until the schedules are done at the high school, they really won't know what their enrollment is actually going to be. But numbers are up. The last 2 weeks of school, the kitchen for the students' kitchen for that lab will be, the temporary one will be set up because they're getting ready to get a big renovation grant and started from the SBA. It will be, when you walk in there, you'll not recognize what we'll call the commons area, and that it will all be changed along with the kitchen area itself. They'll have a walk-in freezer, walk-in cooler, and dry storage walk-in. It'll be like a business. So that's basically what I have from there. Like I said, if you can attend on the pinning ceremony, it's well worth your time.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. All right, we'll move down to science lab updates. Dr. Manning.
Well, I haven't heard back from the SBA on when I go present for the water line and project yet. I'm assuming that's coming up soon. They will just basically send me a notification, say, come here, present. So I haven't got that yet. I have been working with Miss West, Mr. Fox, and all the science teachers. We gave the teachers till Wednesday, correct, Miss West? I'm hopeful that they turn something in. They are. I have had conversations, follow-up conversations today. There is some excitement brewing, some different equipment that they haven't had the opportunity to have before, and so they are working on that. I'll be able to have hopefully everybody's order by Wednesday to review with Ginger, make sure that we're good to go using levy funds and our funds, and kind of give them an update. Some of them are equipment, like there's some physics stuff and Mr. Hill, some bigger stuff, and then some of it is just some wireless equipment that would make it easier for kids to group. They've used their ideas of what they thought that they could utilize. So, and some of them are consumables. One little issue that we've had with the consumables, they usually wait until the beginning of the year to order the consumables because they don't know exactly how many kids they're going to have yet. But we're getting pretty close on being able to get that estimate. So we should have a lot of new consumables, some new equipment. There's actually some laboratory upgrades that we're doing, and of course the water project that we're trying to get. We're hopeful that project can get approved, and we can get the water ran using the SBA's help into the middle school wing. So hopefully by the next meeting, you should see some things being ordered and so on and so forth.
Thank you, Dr. Mack. All right, that will move us into the consent agenda, and we'll start with the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of April 21st, 2026.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April 21st, 2026.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April 21st, 2026. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion
Abstain.
carried. Yep, one abstention, motion carries. Okay. We have next approval of the minutes of the special meeting of April 16th, 2026.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of April 16th, 2026.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the special meeting of April 16th, 2026. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, then we have approval of the minutes of the special meeting of April 28th, 2026.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of April 28th, 2026.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the special meeting on April 28th, 2026. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, now we have approval of bills for payment. Ginger.
Okay, so we brought you several this evening. If you notice the next item, we're also asking for permission to pay, where this meeting is so early. Like, we just got in a bunch of water bills today, and we'd like to pay those between now and the next meeting because we don't want them to be late. We did manage to get most of the power bills on there, but there may be one or two still out, and some other things. I didn't see anything else that really jumped out at me. The student laptop refreshment is on there, as you can see on batch 001. It's significant, but yeah, that's pretty much done every year to keep everything, fresh and the students using those in the classrooms. Did anyone find anything with questions? We're trying to do a better job with our descriptions so that as you go through them, you don't have to guess. We're trying to provide you with enough detail to know exactly what we're paying for each time.
When do you need the next bills paid through?
I would say like around the 15th, if we can do that. Is that what we put in there? Yes, through May 15th.
Make a motion to approve the bills for payment and to pay bills through May 15th.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the bills for payment as presented and to pay bills through May 15th, 2026. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, Ginger, we're back to you for approval of budget supplements and transfers.
Sorry, that's a really big list. I tried to preemptively strike some of the things that I have to clean up at the end of the year, some year coding issues, and then we've received a few grants that I needed to get put into the budget, so that's why there's a pretty big list. Notably, we did get the school mapping grant, so that's in your documents there to finish up that project. We actually received the grant for it, so that we'll be able to get that one completed. Trinity Schools, that one got held up somewhere in the world between Charleston and here, so we got that one straightened out. And then Sherry and I worked on all of the title budgets, getting those in place so that we can know where we're supposed to be spending before the end of the year. Because it's going to be here tomorrow. Of course, I'm happy to take questions. There's a lot of information there.
Questions on budget supplements or transfers? Hearing
No.
none?
Make a motion to approve budget supplements and/or transfers.
Second.
Okay. It has been properly moved and seconded to approve all budget supplements and transfers as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. We have approval of open enrollment. Dr. Minnie.
Standard open enrollment, the open enrollment student letter is attached. I make a recommendation that you make a motion to approve the open enrollment as presented from a fifth grade student in Calhoun County to be enrolled in Gilmer County Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept superintendent's recommendation on approval of an open enrollment fifth grade Calhoun County student to Gilmer County Elementary School. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion?
They live in the county or?
No.
Just transferred over?
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. That'll take us out of the consent agenda and we'll move into new business and start with approval of Neola policy updates. Dr. Minnie.
This volume of updates has been reviewed by Dinsmore and Scholl for consistency with federal and state law. There are 11 revisions due to legislative changes, 1 rescission due to a reference to the West Virginia Board of Education policy that no longer exists, and 5 technical corrections. Neola does ongoing reviews of the statutory language at state and local and federal court decisions. According to Gilmer County Policy 0171, it is the superintendent's duty to continually call to the board's attention all policies that need revision. It is hereby determined that legal references or citations contained in the board policies are of a non-substantial nature, such that they may be updated and corrected by the superintendent as appropriate. Therefore, I make a recommendation, a motion to approve the Neola policy updates as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the Neola policy updates as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we have approval of MOU with Marshall University College of Education and Professional Development. Dr. Minnie.
This memorandum of agreement is with Marshall University College of Education and Professional Development. The Gilmer County Schools agreed to provide field experience sites and designate an on-site supervisor who is licensed as a school psychologist for intern Raven Friend. The responsibility of each party are outlined in the attached agreement, and that agreement's attached to the board agenda there. And it basically goes down through, we shall designate a supervisor, provide projected schedules, interns, time commitment, agree to provide opportunities for the intern to meet maximum number of 1,200 clock hours, and so on and so forth. This is happening with an employee that we currently have serving as our behavior specialist, and she's working on getting a psychology degree. So that's the point of that partnership.
I make a motion to approve the MOU between Marshall University College of Education and Professional Development and Gilmer County Schools as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the MOU between Marshall University College of Education and Professional Development and Gilmer County Schools as presented by the superintendent. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, next we have approval to sell the 1995 Ford Blue van on public surplus auction. Dr. Manning.
Due to the age of the van, and considering I rode in this van when I was in high school.
I don't even remember this van. Where's
Yeah,
this thing?
this was the FFA van.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it, trust me.
I haven't seen it. Like,
It hasn't been used for any trips this school year. We used it once this school year, and it was just as a storage facility so we could broadcast the games at the college. I would request a motion to declare the 1995 Ford Blue van as surplus and sell on public surplus auction site.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation to declare the 1995 Ford Blue van as surplus and sell on the public surplus auction site. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries.
I know.
I think we need to start putting pictures of these on our thing so we can see what some of these look like.
Yeah.
Believe me, it does not look good.
Looking for a fishing van, you know.
All right. Oh, my computer started having a fit. Okay, permission to sell bus number 67.
Yeah, Mr. Frazier is requested to declare bus 67 as surplus so it may be sold on the public surplus auction. The fleet has been reviewed with the chief mechanic and he agrees the money from the sale will go into the bus replacement fund. And it just happens to be, this is the oldest one that we have. Therefore, I recommend making a motion to approve declaring bus 67 surplus and approve the sale of bus 67 using public service auction.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve declaring bus number 67 surplus and approve the sale of bus number 67 using the public surplus auction. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we have approval to buy a new bus. Dr. Minnie.
And of course, with bus replacement, we get funds every year, and this is our bus for this year. It is a 77 passenger Thomas safety liner handicap school bus with AC from Athene Motors for the cost of $160,950. I recommend making a motion to approve the purchase of the 77 passenger Thomas safety T liner handicap school bus for $160,950 from Athene Motors.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the purchase of a 77 passenger Thomas safety liner handicap school bus with AC for $160,950 from Athene Motors. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. We are now down to discussion or possible action of the Titans Rising Academy. Dr. Minnie.
Great.
Big sis isn't here to bail you out today.
She. I don't know why that's coming up no signal. Anyways, you guys have this in your, you got it in your notes. If you bring up the, it's posted on the public comment there. Public can see. This leadership service personal development class is a local class that we're building, and several different reasons. There's been through our gate team and I think multiple board members, we're trying to get clubs, leadership initiatives. We're trying to get a lot of different things going. This class is a proposal to fill in for the foods class, and what we've decided to do is kind of take a few areas that we've seen students' needs and bring them together to build a leadership service and personal development course that can be taken as an elective for high school age students. So this is a local elective, and if you guys approve this elective, then we can obtain a course code for that class through the Department of Ed, and then we can start offering the course. This is not a graduation requirement. Graduation requirements, you have to get it approved by this board, and then the state board also has to approve it. So this would be a local elective class. Students that are interested in leadership and leadership development, public service and service initiatives can take this class and go through the coursework. So this class will be a project-based class. They'll be learning service leadership, real-world applications. They'll be utilizing communication skills, collaboration, decision-making, professionalism. And some of the expected outcomes will be for our students to be able to work as a leader in their future career. We would like for people to be able to communicate as a leader professionally. We would like to prepare them so they can get a job by doing resumes, practicing job interview skills, and so on. But then also how to handle conflict in the workplace, how to present yourself professionally, and all the way up to how to become a leader in your workplace. It's a full credit. It's a 1-credit elective course. And we have created a list of projects that base off of service and community service and leadership and personal development. We have already developed the standards, like standard 1 is foundation and leadership, and students will have a group of content standards and objectives through that standard to learn anything from multiple leadership styles, characteristics of ethical leadership and decision-making, real-world leadership scenarios. Standard 1.2 is self-awareness and personal leadership growth. Standard 1.3 is applied leadership. And they'll be doing projects that make an impact within their school and their school community. Standard 2, service leaders. This is where we're going to try to engage them in civic engagement. We've found that service leadership skills, and not very many people want to go into service leadership. And we're hoping that the kids be exposed to this will take on civic responsibility, analyzing community needs and identifying service opportunities. That civic engagement's the first standard. The second standard is service project planning and implementation. This is students will design a service project that includes goals, timelines, roles, evaluation criteria. And then students will collaborate with community partners to implement service learning initiatives, including partnerships that promote clubs and organizations at Gilmer County schools. So one of the requests is let's get clubs and organizations going, more student leadership opportunities going for the students. This is going to be kind of a catalyst class. Mr. Fox is working with the leadership team, and they're developing a time period during the day to have clubs and organizations. This class will help run those clubs and organizations as student-led. So they're going to be sending out surveys, finding what the students want to participate in, going out and building frameworks for the desired club to be implemented, and actually building those things over time, or what the student need is. Standard 3 is leadership readiness and career development. This is professional skills and workplace expectations, career exploration and planning. There's a lot of career exploration in this. We want to use this as a catalyst maybe to work with the PET plan. We want to get the kids to the career center. We want to have them plan their career. We're looking at 9th and 10th graders that need an elective for this class to be able to promote some of that shared responsibility for the personal education plan, the PEP plan, and align their future course and their goals with that. And then finally, employability skills, providing them with the skills to become employable. Standard 4 is leadership, communication, collaboration, and professional interaction. This is how to write a good email, how to handle yourself in a professional manner. All of those skills that students would benefit from training are kind of built in there. How to collaborate as a team is standard 4.2. Standard 4.3 is digital and professional communication. And then standard 5, employee readiness and job acquisition, career preparation and job readiness, resume application and job acquisition skills is standard 5.2. And then interviewing and professional communication. And then finally, 5.5 is job performance and workplace behavior. And then 5.5 is feedback, growth, and career sustainability. So we got a full curriculum here built out with our students being taught leadership skills, but then also having projects where they're going to help build student clubs, organizations, and provide leadership opportunities to other students. So we're hopeful that, the leadership team will provide kind of the framework of the time and place and those types of things where clubs going to happen. Organizations can take place. Ginger and I have been working on budgeting because a lot of these clubs that you start take a startup fee. So we're going to put that in our budget. So if a kid wants to create a club and there's a organization fee, we'll have that available. And then, of course, we will have a class that if we want to hold intramurals, it can be student led, and they could, they can go through and do the brackets, or if they want to create a Dungeon and Dragons club, they can go out and find kids that would like to work in that club and provide them leadership training and get that club up and running. So this class is going to be kind of the class, and the teacher that we hire for this is kind of going to be the eyes and ears of what the kids want, and surveying the kids and being able to be nimble and adapt to what the kids want as far as leadership opportunities, also while being taught leadership skills. So that's the gist of the class. I got a little graphic there that talks about the different types of grading. They will have a leadership portfolio. So if they're involved with developing a club at Gilmer County High School, that'll be one of the things that they put in their leadership portfolio. And we hope to give them a leadership certificate that will allow them to help build their resume, that they are service leader through Gilmer County Schools, that hopefully will look good on a resume and job application. Is there any questions?
No, seems pretty good.
Make a motion to approve the leadership service and personnel development elective course as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the leadership service and personal development elective course as presented by the superintendent. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we now have discussion and possible action on gymnasium padding. Dr. Manning.
You can see we got 3 quotes for gymnasium padding. 2 of them are completely installed. 1 of them I do not believe is. It's just a quote for the actual cost of the material. And the lowest quote came in for a base price, which was quite a bit cheaper than the other ones, $28,989. This would cover floor to ceiling, even on the columns on both sides, and then all the way down the wall on the one side of the stage side of the gym. The columns won't have graphics, but in between the columns, we can pick our graphics. They've told us that we can use graphics on both sides. And then all the way down the wall, that pad also, we could put graphics on that pad as well. So I thought that was a pretty decent price. We did get 3 quotes although the lowest price quote did come from Sourcewell on the state bid sheet, and that's Huffman Company, RM Huffman Company. And that includes 48 24 by 72 graphic wall pads, 2 3-sided non-graphic column pads, 4 3-sided non-graphic column pads, 37 24-inch by 32.25 graphic wall pads, stage area, 6 24-inch by 37.5 graphic wall pads at the left and right stage opening, installation in 2026, and delivery and freight. It also includes removal and disposal of existing wall pads and project phasing. So with the 3 quotes coming in, and we did call and make sure that this company today, we did a follow-up phone call, Mr. Fox and I did, and they were set that we could kind of name our graphics and figure out what we want. I would probably make a recommendation that you guys make a motion. I think that we probably just go ahead, if you're good with that, unless there's discussion, of approving quote number 2, which is RM Huffman Company, for that wall padding at in the gymnasium at $28,989.
I assume we didn't think we could install and save money.
I don't know that we would have an expert installer to do that. We could save money by going with the other quote, but that's not installation.
Mhm.
And installing around the outlets and installing around the columns, those columns would be tricky. And that's one of the columns are one of the reasons why that's one of the whole reasons why we're doing this project, because they're not actually covered to the floor. When people get running and they land before those columns, there's 2 I-beams on each side, and they run into those I-beams. And to be able to know how to pad that out and what to hook to the I-beam and do all of that is that's why we included installation. We just had one company that sent it without installation.
Or the same number of square foot for both bids, the same amount of padding?
For both bids and
He's saying is RM Huffman, the BSN, is it the pads, comparing the pad price of RM Huffman and BSN?
No, yeah, are they the same, for all the bids, apples to apples, all were the same amount of padding and all the same
basically like the
thickness?
Zides is 3, they didn't go into depth, but Zide says 3 walls as attached mock-up.
Okay,
And then let me get the other quote up here.
That'll take a lot of pad to go down beside the
well, yeah,
stage area,
it's a lot.
but it needs done.
Well, there were 2 kids I saw get popped into the,
And you can see the BSN quote hardly has any information on it. It just says wall padding, Gilmer County,
Yeah.
1 each, $13,240 for an order total of $14,000.
I'll make a motion to approve the RM Huffman Company's bid for $28,989.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve the RM Huffman Company quote for a total of $28,989. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. We have no old business. So that'll take us into personnel, Dr. Manning.
All right, personnel recommendations for hire. Elena Rhodes, elementary teacher, 2nd grade, 2026-27 job, Gilmer County Elementary School. Garrett Amons, agricultural teacher, Gilmer County High School.
Make a motion to approve the professional portion of the personnel agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the professional portion of the personnel agenda as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Congratulations, Elena.
Yes.
Mr. Manning, we're on to number one, the service.
Service. Recommendation for hire, Chelsea Jenkins, Special Education Classroom Transportation Aide, Gilmer County High School, and Patrick Harper, Custodian, Gilmer County Elementary School.
Make a motion to approve the service portion of the personnel agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the service portion of the personnel agenda as presented by the superintendent. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. On to extracurricular.
Extracurricular, Athena Clark, Tutors Literacy Math Summer School, Gilmer County Elementary School, and Tanya Stewart, Homebound Instructor, Developmental Delay, Gilmer County Elementary School.
Make a motion to approve the extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda as presented by the superintendent. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, and the one to permission to post.
Permission to post itinerant special education teacher.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to allow the superintendent permission to post the itinerant special education teacher. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Do we have a need there?
There's a need there.
Okay.
For a couple different reasons, back and forth between the schools, the high school scheduling.
Okay.
So one of the needs is to, if we do the schedule like we want to do it, and we should have space to be able to hire that person.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, that'll conclude personnel. That will move us to continuous improvement. And then we have the CSI update, Dr. Minnie.
And that's going to be me tonight because Mr. Price has a little league game a game tonight for his son. So he sent me some bullet points. So the state just recently did their CSI walkthrough. They still don't have the report back to us, and we got an email today that said, I believe they gave us a date of May 13th. Up until May 13th, they would like to meet and go over the report. So we'll be able to get some ideas on what exactly they're recommending based off of what their walkthrough told them. This year, just to reiterate what we've done, we've, of course, put together kind of a committee on leadership team. The budget's been submitted for state approval and approved. This year's budget's been focused highly on professional development, training teachers out with a focus on professional development with multi-tier systems of support. Specifically designed instruction is what they call this. For those students that are in that subgroup, specifically designed instruction. So we're doing things and scheduling trainings. They're going to go to a model schools conference. They are going to get board approval to request that out-of-state professional development. They've already been approved, I believe, for the funding for that from the state, and they're going to go with looking at specifically designed instruction to help move those kids that are in that subgroup. They're also offering teacher/aide workshops at the end of the school year, and they're bringing in Solution Tree, which is a PLC development group that are going to focus on identifying, what the student need is, what the skill gap is, and then coming up with a game plan on how to solve that skill gap for that student. They've done lots of kind of demographic things, looking at the subgroup, trying to reduce the subgroup, because that's one of the issues when we moved up. Our subgroup kind of got us in that situation. We're one of a few schools that happened with. The WVDE team was there on April 8th, and they conduct a special education diagnostic review in the school. And Mr. Price reports that he received very positive feedback from the team, and he'll have the formal report that we can present to you guys. And like I said, I got an email today. Miss Mason and I have to schedule to go through their debriefing. And then they're going to highlight things in that report for the following year, what they think that we should change and what we should focus on and what we're doing good and stick with. One of the things that we did change, and this was a recommendation from the state, at one of the very first meetings, people that reduced the subgroup deficiency, almost every single school utilized Cambium and test authoring. So we started benchmarking, because they kind of said it's not a requirement, but it's a requirement. So we utilize that data, and I know Mr. Barton's seen some of that in our gate review, but that's kind of out of that conversation. It's kind of been kind of district wide, like the high school wants to pick up, and they've picked up using the Cambium data, because it is actually testing the students on exactly what they're going to be tested on in the future. So there's a few of those things that we've done we've benchmarked differently, and we've looked at the subgroup itself. Some of the population could be reduced because some of it was speech and different things like that. Also looking at MTSS framework, the multi-tier system of support, how we provide those interventions in the classroom, changing the environments, looking at how much pull-out instruction and how much core instruction our kids are getting. So the leadership team continues to have the monthly meeting, and that monthly meeting is on Thursday, on the last Thursday of each month, and their whole focus in that team meeting with the WVDE are all of these different tools in the first year of implementation to what we could do to move that subgroup. Of course, we're on this for 3 years. So they're going to come back with another list, kind of like what our gate review does. They're going to come back and say, okay, well, we saw you weren't doing this, or we saw you need to improve on this. And they'll give us a list of things that we implement with the leadership team. So that's where we're at with it so far. Is there any questions?
Do we do a year-end iReady 2 or just the general summative assessment?
No, we've already taken end of the year already.
Okay, so everybody does that? And then just the kids who take the GSA, or how does that work?
So iReady third through eighth grade is completed end of year before GSA. K through second will take theirs next week.
Okay. Well, I was just sitting here thinking, because, we're doing iReady, we're doing Cambium, and I'm starting to think test fatigue. And, I know you said before that the iReady targets the specific, lessons but what I'm seeing as a parent is test fatigue and a lot of iReady being used perhaps in place of classroom instruction.
We are looking at that, and have already put out some stipulations about iReady being utilized like that. It should be a supplemental program, and it should only have one lesson a week. I mean, it's not something you should see it. You should not see 3-4 lessons a week.
Well,
The recommendation is 1 to 2 lessons per week.
That's a concern that I have. And in, thinking through all this up here, I was also thinking, if we could compare year-end iReady to the GSA, and then I'm not familiar with this Cambium yet, but I'm assuming it's the same sort of thing, testing
It's done in smaller it's not a one big benchmark. You know, when they test author, they can create a set of standards and test author, or they can take, what's it called, Sherry? The modules. They can take a module that's just, you know, just a block of what the set of standards that they're testing on.
Well, I would like to see how each of those programs reflects GSA, because I mean, ultimately, that's what our whole goal is, isn't it? To, maximize the GSA scoring. And I mean, I know when we purchased iReady that supposedly it was, close to GSA and all that. But I would like to see a chart at some point, when we have test scores back, and see how accurate, because we've jumped in both feet with iReady. We're doing lots of iReady, and I want to know personally as a parent, is that a good expenditure of our time? Is that helping? Is that predicting? Is that?
It's a pretty good predictor.
The dealing with iReady, I'm like Dr. Miller. I got two. One is notice how I'll put this. My understanding is that they are being taken to court in lots of places for inappropriate use of data obtained.
Didn't see that. I don't know what to
I've
make
seen
of
that
it.
too. I actually got something sent by a student to me that, iReady state, they put out a statement on that says, hey, there's no way that this is possible. I don't know what student information they could have, because
It's not student information as such. It's info dealing with, I'm weak here, buy this program, and I can improve that weakness type deal. That's what it said. That's my understanding. It's not my personal
right.
stuff, but it's where a parent might want to purchase a program to help their kid out. I'll put it like that. Like I said, that's my understanding. So I don't know that for sure, but that's what I was told. And I'm like her, I got several complaints of inappropriate, when you say we're addressing that, inappropriate use where Larry go back and do something and instruction wasn't taking place. And
Yeah,
since-
I
and
think
the only thing,
that's
since
where
we're
I get
coming
the
up,
complaints.
since we're
from
coming
me.
up to the end of the year, it's something to discuss before we get started next year. You couldn't, in the middle of the year, you weren't going to change horses, but for starting for next year, I think we need to look at it, because the Cambiant, like we said, it really gets us kind of where.
It does, but
and-
we have to have some type of benchmark for everybody that's under the third grade.
Right.
So that's going to have to be a reality one way or the other with the House Bill 3035.
Right.
And do the teachers, do they like iReady? Are they?
They must, because the
buying
usage
in,
of it is like, to
Well-
me, I would think if I was in the classroom, I would look at probably 1 to 2 lessons a week. It's a 20 to 30-minute lesson. It would be built in maybe once a week where you'd give them time. I think the problem areas where we see is it's built in 20 minutes a day or 40
Well,
minutes a day.
that's what I see as a parent.
And that's not what the intent of the program
Yeah,
is.
that was never what I intended when I voted for iReady.
So one of the things that they've done is actually provide grades based off iReady. And I think Sherry knows I'm adamantly opposed to grading iReady, because it's a supplemental program. It's not a formative assessment. And I'm a parent too, so I see it as well. When my kid gets the grade back and he's got 5 grades for 9 weeks and 3 of them are iReady, it's a concern. So
Well,
I
Colton despises it at this point, so.
I can promise you that I have looked at that, correct, Ms. West, and I am working on that to get it back into the appropriate usage of it, which is, it's a supplemental program. It's a program that can take a student that's high level even further.
Right.
It's not meant to be a 30-minute a day during your core instruction type of program. And I think that it's being utilized as that across the district a lot. If it was utilized for 20 minutes a week and you did your lesson and you went through your progression over a year's time.
Well, that's what concerns me, because like I said, Colton hates it with a passion now. And to me, that may bleed out into, our benchmarks and, when they're so fatigued over so much iReady, are they really going to care about another iReady test? And so I don't know.
But we've also talked about looking at the assessment calendar and looking at what we can do to remedy some of that fatigue with utilizing Cambium for both the benchmark and then the modules. We just need to make sure that, we've got good data on the students.
Yeah.
And I think that iReady is a pretty decent predictor of where we're going to score.
I know when we voted for it that it was supposed to
It
be.
doesn't overshoot what the kids are going to score. If you remember, our test scores were in the 50s, 60s, and 70 percentile, and we were scoring in the 20s. iReady is not like that. It's a pretty decent predictor. Honestly, it's actually low. We score higher than what we do on their
But I
benchmark.
remembered it was lower last
Yeah.
time. But I would just be interested in comparing and seeing what kind of ballpark we're in.
Any other questions, comments for CIS or CSI update?
Too many C whatevers.
We'll get tongue tied. Okay, we'll move into the superintendent's update. Dr. Manning.
We're in full testing mode. And, I checked on the schools today and everything is doing well. We had just a few kids absent. After a certain period of time, we've already got scores in there for math, and I've already been looking at them. We don't have FYI. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes on at the state and here before we actually know the scores. But I was happy. I went and checked on the school today at the high school, and I plan to go to the elementary tomorrow. But everything looks like it's doing well, and looks like the kids are taking the test seriously and trying their best, and that's what we should be asking them to do. There's a whole bunch of end of the year celebration type of stuff going on. Just try to, if you got any questions about what to be at or whatever, just send me a text or email me. But it's going to be kind of a whirlwind after this week. Testing is going to be over, and then we're going to be into all the celebrations, and then it's going to be over, and it's going to be very quick. So if you got any questions about any of those events, I will take them and try to get the information back to you. I don't have much more. We're just got a week's worth of testing here we're focusing on, and hopefully soon after the test, I'll be able to provide you with some results. I will say that I looked at we're still setting very good with the chronic absent rate. And man, if we could just pull a % or two drop by the end of the year, I know that's probably unlikely to
It'll be
happen.
a tough haul
It
these
is. We're
last few
just so
weeks.
close to reaching that goal. And that was a lofty goal. I'm very hopeful, though. Every time that chronic absent rate goes down, our test scores go up. It is directly tied. I mean, it's been that way for the last 3 years. It is directly tied to test scores. So we're really paying attention to that and trying to get that information out there. And we'll be trying to schedule for all these trainings and summer trainings and all of this stuff and trying to get into the summer. We're going to have a whole lot of that science wing money flowing through and all of those things that were requested by us in the next month. So we're still plugging along. We've got a couple more weeks until graduation. I want to commend Mr. Barton and Coach Gwen on what they did this weekend. They went through a very stressful situation and handled it very well. And the kids all got home safe, and we better be thankful for that, because those situations are very serious. And If the kids need somebody to talk to, we've aligned somebody up for the next couple days to make sure that they have the support they need. Those are stressful situations. And so we've got some things put in place with that. And Mr. Barton saw me this morning, and it's a scary time to be in public education because you never know what's around the next corner. So they did a great job, and so did the students. So we appreciate them doing so well during that situation, tense time. That's all I got.
All righty, that'll move us into board member comments. We'll start with Mr. Chapman.
I just want to wish all the kids good luck on their test and do their best. And also coming up on the end of the year with spring sports, I just want to say good luck to the baseball team and the softball teams and everybody playing. And I'd like to look into junior high, trying to get into conference play with our junior high spring sports and just sports in general. I know the Little Canal Conference has conference play or conference tournament at the end of the year, and it's been difficult trying to get into that and maybe see where we'd have to pull some strings to be able to get into that conference play. So get our junior high kids something to compete at the end of their season.
All right,
about
thank
all
you,
I
Mr. Thank you, Mr. Chapman. I don't have anything this time. Dr. Miller.
I just want to encourage all the kids to do their best on their testing. This is the culmination of all your effort this year, and this kind of gives you some bragging rights, so do well. And I'm very thankful that everything turned out okay Saturday. I'm sure it was a very scary time, and I know we had good coaches and a lot of good kids helping out and getting everybody to safety. And it's a scary time in the world, and time to hold the people you love closer and be thankful for what you have.
Mr. Fresher.
No comments.
Mr. Barton.
Well, I'm like Dr. Minnie, we had several people that were very instrumental in helping Saturday. The Brannons, the Cars, Erica Dennison, I'll probably leave out somebody, and Coach Dobbins were very instrumental in getting our kids to safety and those type of things. And, it was, and a lot of our kids, particularly one young man, he was in harm's way. He didn't go across the fence. He stayed and he put other people across. And the individual probably was just there's some other things that went on, and he probably it was a scare tactic more than anything. But if he had been intended on actually doing lots of physical harm, the young man in question here would have definitely been one of the first where he was located as to where the individual was at in the car. So we're very fortunate, and that, like I said, our kids were terrific. And those parents that helped do those things, and Coach Gwynn and Coach Dobbins, I greatly appreciate what they did. And I also would encourage all the staff and all the students testing, do the best you can, because it has a lot of ramifications on things that we do. We make decisions off of those test scores. So, it's something that's very, very important. I would encourage everybody to do that, and for everybody to stay safe. There's lots of other things coming up, and everybody just has to be very vigilant of where you are and your surroundings and what's going on.
I hope that they have a big police presence when the kids go back to,
I
don't
do
they go
too.
back to Laidley for the states?
That is I do too. It's a scary thing, and what ours will do. And ours weren't the only ones. There was probably 900 to 1,000 kids that were there, and to go back in that venue and have to compete, I don't know. I saw some kids that they were in shock. There was one gentleman that had just come back from a deployment. He was still dressed in his desert camo, and his daughter was a freshman, and he was looking for her and he couldn't find her. So finally, she ended up being with our throwers, that they were locked in another rooms where she actually happened to be. Because I was standing at our bus, when he came on looking for her. And
Be terrifying.
Speaking of military, not to change subject, but speaking of, the military and what's there's not, I'm curious if we know that if we have any students that are going into the services after they graduate here in a couple weeks. And I'd like to recognize those kids if we've had anybody sign up or enlist. I just
I have
saw
to
where,
check.
I saw where maybe it was Harrison or somebody, but honored those kids that have.
They usually do at the senior assembly.
I know at the senior assembly, but just as the board.
Well, for the board.
Yeah.
I'd have to check, see if we have anybody. I haven't checked on that this year.
I
I can
haven't
check.
heard anybody.
Okay,
That's
any
all I
further?
have.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Any further board member comments?
Nope.
Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Ciao. Alvin Engelke owns that next track, and the other part of it is.
You're right. That's the
One
name.
day
I
the
told you.
Scooby
it was-
Girl
I just saw him today. If I would have known, I would.